Hey, Greta. I just came back from my 2 years of being overseas for work, and it seems that somebody went off and got married. Since when were you going out and doing all of that and never planning on telling me?
What? Rena? So you came back to the US then? Are you back for good now, or are you just here for a few weeks or something?
Just for a short bit, but that's not what I want to talk about right now. Answer the question I've asked you. Did you get married, and when was it that you ended up getting married?
You want me to tell you about my marriage and how it's been? Well, Rena, as far as I can tell, I haven't gotten married yet, actually. I'm still as single as I was when you left. So you should probably elaborate a bit more on why you're asking that.
Huh? I know that you got remarried and are a mother now.
What? I'm remarried and a mother? Rena, what are you going on about?
And what is this about you leaving your kid over at our house all the time now when you just had them not too long ago?
What kid are you talking about, Rena?
What the hell do you think you're doing going on vacations like that all the time while leaving your baby at my house with my husband? Are you freaking insane?
Excuse me? Since when have I been leaving any baby over at your house with Carson?
I'm sure the reason you thought you could get away with it is because she's a housewife and has all this time on her hands, right? But that does not mean you can just use her as your babysitter. And you haven't even come over to drop your kid off either. Instead, you're having one of your friends do it for you every time. I'll tell you right now that I never expected to hear such BS going on in my household ever, because my house is not your baby's frickin' daycare. Get over to my house right now.
I can't right now. I'm out of town on a trip.
Huh? So you've gone and done it again. Leaving your kid in my husband's hands while you run off to have more fun. Where'd you go this time, huh? Are you out having an affair or something now?
Calm the hell down, Rena. Dang it, girl. You're starting to piss me off now.
You think I can freaking calm down right now? My own husband has been getting harassed by my older sister and her baby.
I have never had a baby before.
Huh?
Listen, asshole. I have never had a baby. And by the freaking way, this is my 12th year now of not being in any serious relationships.
Wait, really?
I'm so freaking sorry that I'm not good looking enough for any men anymore. Now would you cut that crap and stop making such stupid jokes about me? I am actually going to block you if you keep that up.
Then you being on that trip is...
I am on vacation with Mom for her birthday. Her and I came to this beautiful resort to relax and enjoy the spa. So you have a problem with us being here?
Now that you mention it, Mom's birthday, it'll be next Tuesday, right?
That's right. And since both Mom and I have jobs during the week, we decided it would be best to take this trip during a long weekend. Dad is back at home taking care of things while we're gone, and if you'd like, you can call him right now and he'll say that to you.
Ah, okay.
All right, so do we have a freaking problem here?
No, we don't.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Then we can stop talking now. Right now, I'm getting into the hot tub with Mom so that we can relax before starting our day.
Oh, wait. I wasn't lying about my husband having a baby with him right now.
What?
So far, he and I haven't been trying to have a baby or anything. And you should even understand that since I've been away for 2 years now...
Fair point. And one of you would have said something if you were trying for a kid. Also, I've seen Carson a few times while you've been out of the US, and he never said anything about wanting a kid.
Right? I was shocked by the fact that he was having to care for this baby, and so I asked him where it came from. He told me that for the past month and a half now, you've been having one of your friends bring your baby over and dropping them off with Carson.
What the hell?
I get that it's not your baby now. But the fact that there is this random baby in our house who has been under my husband's care for the past month and a half is concerning to me.
I see.
Please help me figure all of this out. I have no idea what happened here while I was gone, and now I'm starting to panic. Just tell me something. Is there anything you can remember that would tie into this?
I just asked Mom about it all as well, but she told me she hasn't really seen Carson for over a year now and has only ever been able to text and call with her once or twice. The same goes for me, actually. The last time I saw her was around 9 months ago, and that was out in public. Your guys' house is about an hour away from us, so it's rare for me to see her unless we make plans, which we haven't been.
That makes sense. All right.
Let me ask you this. Before you came back home, did you say anything to Carson about it?
No. I planned on this to be a surprise for him, and so I never even hinted at the fact that I'd be back home in the States and coming home. So when I came into the house to surprise him...
There was a baby with him that you have never even seen or heard about before?
That's correct. Honestly, what the hell is going on here? What all caused this to happen? No, wait. Oh, I kind of know what it could be. Right now, I actually kind of suspect him of cheating on me, Greta.
Well, before you start to blame him or anything, you need to make sure you have evidence of that sort of thing. At least now I understand what you were screaming like a bitch for. Today is the last day of our trip, and we'll be checking out this morning after we are done in the hot tub. On our way home, we can swing by your place and see what all is going on with Carson and that baby. How does that sound?
That's fine. I'm sorry for texting you in such an awful manner while you're with Mom.
Well, today is the last day anyway, so you didn't kill too much of my mood. But don't think that I fully forgive you yet for the way you acted. Just, for the time being, calm down. Also, do not do anything that would make Carson think you're catching on to him. Don't question him about anything, don't yell at him about anything, don't do anything that would make him feel unsafe. Carson, it's been a long while.
I'm really sorry for not talking with you or your mom much this past year. And about this baby, I found out that this baby isn't actually yours, and that kind of shocked me as well.
Ah, I see. I was actually just talking with my mom about all of that, and we were thinking it would be a good idea to tell you that it's not mine. Thankfully, someone told you the truth. I heard quite a bit about what's been going on from Rena, but I'm still not fully understanding the situation.
Greta, do you know anything about a girl named Maddie?
Maddie? If this is the same Maddie that I'm thinking of, then she was a classmate of mine back in high school. Carson, is that dumbass a friend of yours or something?
She was in the same club as me back in middle school, but was 2 years above me, of course.
Really? Is that right? Why are you bringing her name up with me right now? Does this mean?
Yeah. The person that came over to our house bringing this problem child with her who said it was yours was Maddie.
Are you sure?
Pretty much every time she's done this, she makes sure to remind me that you are both really good friends and that I should not bother you about this when you're already aware. She told me that if I did ever say something to you, she'd do the same thing she did to me back in middle school, as a threat.
I see.
I know that you of all people wouldn't have. Well, you get what I mean. But Maddie pressured me into taking the baby, and so there was nothing I could do besides act as its mother while she was away. I was going to get in touch with you about this, but I'd been so busy with the baby and everything else that I couldn't. And it's been a few weeks now since the last time I've seen Maddie.
Back in high school, Maddie ended up in the same class as me my sophomore year. And, during that year, she just so happened to really be into my little sister, to the point she'd tell me about it in person. She would always come up asking me to introduce her to him and that she'd make my little sister into her girlfriend. It got to the point where she became way too annoying about it.
What? So that's the connection you had to her?
I guess so. But at the time, Rena had a boyfriend of her own and was never really interested in women in the first place. So one day I told her to F off and that she needed to find some other man her age. And, well, that seemed to have pissed her off a lot and left her with some remaining anger towards me. Then, for the rest of my time in high school, she would do so many things to me to make it clear that she hated my guts. It was a pretty bad time.
I see now. I wish I could have gotten to you with all this information sooner. I'm sorry.
You don't have to apologize to me for anything. What do you plan to do now, though?
Good point. Well, before I say anything about this to Rena, do you mind coming out with me to a hotel near A Station so that we can talk in the lobby?
At that old hotel?
I plan to stay there tonight, so it would make things easier on me.
So you're out of the house right now. Home seems to have broken down, and now we are going to have to wait for someone to fix it. Well, it's already been fixed, but we're only just getting comfortable on it now. We won't be able to ride it all the way back home, but luckily we will be connected to a new bus at a station between here and home. So it'll be about 30 minutes, and then we'll be on the new bus and on our way home. To your home, I mean.
Seriously? All of that had to happen today? Well, I guess we're both having some issues now. I just realized that both Carson and that baby have disappeared.
They disappeared?
I think they've both just gone out to get some fresh air, but he didn't say anything to me about it and never told me when he'd be back.
I see. Well, he can't be going far if he has that baby with him, so just wait a little while for him to get home, all right? I think he's just gone out for some fresh air, like you said.
All right, then. I guess I'll just think about what you and I are going to do. Today.
Don't worry about it. Thank you for telling me everything you could about your situation and what you've known. I guess tomorrow I'll get started on looking into Jillian and seeing why she's brought you that baby so many times.
All right. Once again, I'm sorry for dragging you into this, but thank you for your help. Greta, help me. What the heck is going on here?
All right, Rena. What is it this time?
Why are you not getting all worried about me right now? You sound like you don't even care. It's been weeks now, and Carson has still not come, and he hasn't even said anything. But that friend of yours, Jillian, just came over to my house, and she brought that troublesome baby with her. She told me to acknowledge her and to marry her right now.
Ah, I see. Yep. I get it now. So, she's begun her plan of attack.
Huh? What the hell? Greta, do you know something about what she's doing?
Listen, Rena. That baby she has, that's your baby.
What?
And that baby's father is Jillian's husband.
Wait. That can't be. I've been out of the country for 2 years now and only just got back.
Rena, give that lie up. It's already been seen through. Everything is known about you now. That's why right now, things are starting to be set in motion. Do you understand?
What the hell?
Rena, while you were overseas for work, you ran into Jillian's husband, right?
No, wait, that's not true.
As it turns out, actually, Jillian's husband works for one of the branches of the company you have been working for. And for a little while, he was sent out to the same area you were living over in Australia, and that's where the both of you met one another. I'm not sure what all happened that led to you both becoming so close, but I am well aware now that you had some private business to attend to with her. After all that happened, Jillian's husband's time was up over there, and he had to return to the US before you. However, when he got back here, he had come home with the baby you both had over there. By the time he found out about being pregnant, there wasn't much he could do but have that baby. But he himself has a fiancé, and in order to not have that fiancé find out he had relations with another woman overseas who got pregnant from him, he and you had your baby in secrecy. But at some point along the way, Jillian found out herself and started to tell him to hand that baby of yours over to Carson. And so, he and Jillian went to your husband, Carson, and started to force him to take the baby.
Huh?
All of that was stuff I found out during the past 2 weeks. Do you have anything to say about it?
Greta, no, Carson is
getting a divorce.
What? Like hell he is? I don't want to get a divorce.
You have no right to say no to the divorce after you cheated on him.
But, Greta, I remember the man who became Jillian's husband, and he wasn't that ugly loser he was back in high school. He became so good looking, and I just had to get a piece of him. He turned into this man that every woman in the office was wanting.
Rena.
Come on.
Ugh. I never thought my own little sister could say things like that to one of her family members. I'm so heartbroken by this that I'd like to cry.
But come on!
But come on this, come on that. How about you shut the hell up for once, Rena? Mom, Dad, and myself are all on Carson's side here.
What? You guys aren't going to help me out here?
Who the hell would want to help a dick like you?
No way. In the divorce, but also to Jillian, who says that I deserve to rot in hell with her husband for what I've done. And that led to me losing every last bit of my savings. I don't have anything left, and now the courts are asking for me to borrow money in order to pay the rest of these settlements off. The company caught word of what's happening with me, and now they're not only letting those talks about my promotion go, but they're also cutting my salary.
I see. Well, from what I remember, the company you work for is a very strict company when it comes to people's ethics, and you've been fairly unethical around your wife.
And it's not just that. My leader told me that he no longer wants me working directly under him, and so the company is having me transferred back overseas, but this time to Colombia. I'll be working at a brand new factory there, and they said it'd be some time before I was allowed to come back to the US. What the hell am I going to do?
You're going to be taking Jillian's husband and your baby with you, all right?
What?
This is what Carson told me. He said that if you and Jillian's husband both get out of this country and move to Colombia together, that he'd be willing to cut the settlement he's asked for in half. So?
What? He couldn't have said that?
And as for myself, Mom, and Dad, the three of us no longer want to help you anymore.
You're going to throw away your little sister, you know.
Stop trying to make me feel bad for you after you asked for all this.
Greta, no!
She said she just needed some time to reset, spend time with family, and figure out what she really wanted to do next. At the time, none of us really questioned it. She'd always been a little all over the place, chasing random ideas and half-baked plans. So we figured this was just another one of her typical life breaks, but we had no idea the real reason she was back had nothing to do with soul-searching or family visits. It didn't take long for the cracks to show. Carson, her husband, was suddenly taking care of a baby none of us had ever seen before. At first, we thought maybe it was some extended family situation, maybe even adoption, or maybe Rena had agreed to foster temporarily. But something about it just didn't sit right. Carson looked worn out, emotionally and physically, and every time someone asked about the baby, Rena would brush it off, act vague, or change the subject entirely. Then the truth came out. The baby wasn't some distant cousin's or part of a foster program. The baby was hers, Rena's. And not only was it hers, but she'd had it with another man while she was in Australia. An affair, a whole secret relationship while she was still married to Carson. She had lied to everyone, lied to her husband, lied to her family, and dragged a child into the middle of a mess she created. Carson was devastated. Heartbroken doesn't even begin to describe what he went through. He had spent months raising a child that wasn't even his, believing it was his duty. All while his wife had been hiding the truth from him. It didn't take long for him to file for divorce, and with help from Carson's lawyer and plenty of support from our family, he managed to secure a pretty serious settlement. The court didn't look kindly on infidelity combined with deception, especially when there was a child involved. But before everything was finalized, Rena made one last move. Rather than pay the full settlement, she chose an alternative option, marrying Jillian's husband, the man she had the baby with. That was the only way she could reduce her payout. If she formally transferred legal responsibility for the child to her new husband, it would technically release Carson from anything further, and she'd only have to pay half of what the court initially demanded. We were floored, not just by how calculated she was, but by how willing she was to turn her entire life upside down just to avoid consequences. The last time we saw her was at the courthouse. Rena and Jillian's now ex-husband were both crying as they submitted their marriage paperwork, surrounded by tension, embarrassment, and a whole lot of whispers. No big wedding, no rings, just two people dragging themselves into a legal union built on lies and broken promises. Right after that, they boarded a plane and left the country. That was the last we heard from her, until months later. Just before she left, though, she got an earful from my mom. And when I say earful, I mean it was the kind of chewing out that leaves a permanent dent in your soul. If you'd been there, you would have thought Rena's ears were bleeding from the verbal beatdown she got. My mom told her exactly what kind of person she had become. Every selfish decision, every lie, every person she hurt, it all came out. And still, Rena didn't apologize. She packed her bags and disappeared like it didn't matter. At that point, we were relieved. Carson could finally breathe again. No more walking around with someone else's baby. No more trying to fix a marriage that was never going to heal. And no more lies whispered behind his back. He moved out of that dark place slowly, but you could see the weight start to lift from his shoulders. It was like we were all ready to put the whole nightmare behind us. But just when we thought it was finally over, the phone rang. A few months after their departure, we got a call from an unfamiliar number. It was from Colombia. And the man on the other end introduced himself as Rena's new boss. He said he was calling because something serious had happened and wasn't sure who else to reach out to. Apparently, Rena had started working at some international office there and, unsurprisingly, she had gotten involved with yet another man. This time, it was someone from her workplace, and it wasn't just a casual fling. It was causing tension in the office. Public scenes, sneaking off during shifts, and eventually, things escalated. Jillian's ex-husband, now Rena's husband, found out about it, and he didn't take it well. The boss told us that he had stormed into the office and confronted her. Things got physical. Details were vague, but whatever happened, Rena ended up in the hospital. Her boss, trying to be helpful, asked us if we wanted to fly out to see her or speak with someone at the hospital on her behalf. My parents and I sat there in silence for a second before my dad calmly said, "Rena isn't part of this family anymore. We're not interested." There was a long pause. The boss apologized for disturbing us, said he understood, and hung up. And just like that, it was over. No follow-up, no updates, no dramatic last-minute plea from Rena, just a dead phone line and a bitter sense of finality. And you know what? I felt nothing. No sadness, no regret, just relief. After everything. After all the destruction, the manipulation, the emotional warfare, it was like closing a door that should have been shut a long time ago. Rena made her choices. And she burned every bridge she had along the way. Maybe one day she'll look back and understand what she lost. But for the rest of us, that chapter's closed. Thank goodness for that.
Thank you for watching all the way until the end. If you felt good after watching this video, please like the video. If not, please leave a comment and give us your feedback. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Your comments and likes help this channel grow. We hope you enjoy our other stories as well.